Today we're going to tackle a topic that's not just buzzworthy, but it's life-altering, and that's burnout. And before we even get anywhere into what we're talking about today, let me be crystal clear. I am not a doctor, and what I'm sharing with you is not a clinical diagnosis. I'm going to share the real lived patterns that I've seen within myself and hundreds of other high-achieving women that I've worked with. Burnout isn't always a picture of someone collapsed in bed, unable to function. A lot of the time, it's the high-functioning burnout, the woman who looks super polished, who still hits her deadlines, who still shows up on the outside, but she's completely falling apart on the inside. That's the version that we're talking about today. And I want to walk you through not just how to recover, but how to stop it before it even gets any momentum. Here's the thing. Burnout rarely starts with one huge breakdown. It's a slow leak. It is death by 1,000 little paper cuts. For me, it was saying yes to one more project when I already knew that I was maxed out, or telling myself I'll rest later, and later never comes. Staring at my laptop at 11 o'clock at night, knowing that my brain is fried, but pushing out just one more email or one more piece of sales copy, whatever it was, or realizing that I hadn't had an actual meal that wasn't coffee or crackers in like 2 days because stopping felt impossible. And if you're listening right now, chances are you've had your own version. Maybe you keep a smile plastered on your face during Zoom calls, but cry after every single one of them. Maybe you can't remember the last time you actually felt rested, even after a weekend. Maybe the smallest request from a client or even your kids feels like a straw that could break you. This is where hustle culture comes in. Hustle culture glorifies this cycle. It tells us that exhaustion is a badge of honor, that you should keep grinding, keep pushing, keep producing. And if you're falling apart, well, maybe you just need to work harder on your mindset. That messaging is so toxic. And it's why burnout keeps repeating for so many women who are otherwise brilliant and capable. I'm going to break down what actually happens when burnout takes hold because it can be super sneaky. First of all, overcommitment can lead to hyperperformance. You say yes because you're capable, clearly. You say yes because you've always been rewarded your whole life for delivering. But behind that yes is depletion. Maybe you're ignoring your body. Right? Your body is whispering that it needs something, it needs a break. It's showing up in headaches, poor sleep, irritability, skipped meals, stress cravings. But hustle culture tells you to ignore that, just to push through, and you do. Maybe your identity is tangled up in productivity. When you start to believe that your worth is equal to how much you produce, you keep driving yourself past empty, and that's this burnout trap. Recognizing these things early on is where we can start to prevent it when it's possible to prevent things. I'm going to give you 4 strategies to stop burnout before they even start to come up, okay? And don't listen. I want you to pick one of these and put it into practice. So, number 1 is energy tracking. Stop tracking only what you've done and start tracking how you feel when you do it. Did it drain you? Did it energize you? One of my clients said that 80% of her week was filled with things that absolutely depleted her energy. And she thought the problem was time management, but it wasn't. It was energy management. So if you're on coffee chats and you hate them, or there's a certain networking meeting that you go to and when you're done, you're just like, oh, I can't do anything else for the rest of the day. Or if it's a particular task in your business that you wish you didn't have to do anymore, write that down and say how you feel about it when it's over. Okay, this is where energy management comes in. The second thing you can do is micro boundaries. Boundaries don't have to be this huge declaration that you make out into the world. They can be super tiny, enforceable rules that create breathing space for you, right? Like maybe we don't respond to Slack notifications at dinner. Or maybe you take your lunch away from your desk. Teeny tiny little boundaries. Okay, they will add up over time. The third one is the guilt flip. Most high achievers, high performers, anybody that's the go, go, go person feels super guilty when they rest. You're on the couch and there's that voice in your head that's like, you're falling behind. But instead of taking that as guilt, make it evidence that you're unlearning hustle conditioning. It's actually a sign of growth. The fourth thing you can do is recovery before rescue. Most people will wait until burnout is full blown and then they scramble for recovery. They take a vacation, they take medical leave, they take long breaks. But prevention means building recovery into your everyday system. Everyday system, okay? Maybe you schedule a white space on your calendar as a non-negotiable. Maybe you treat sleep like a business meeting, or pop in hobbies that aren't monetized, okay? Recovery has to be proactive, not reactive. I also like to call these F-it days, where you plan one a week or two a month or whatever it is, where it's F everything, today's about me, and refueling myself. Because if you plan those, you'll have less real F-it days where you don't want to do anything, okay? Here's what I want you to take with you from today. Burnout doesn't make you weak. It does not make you lazy. It does not make you incapable. In fact, it's usually the opposite. Burnout happens to the most capable women, the ones who get it done, who deliver, and who show up no matter what. But your nervous system has limits, and you pretending that you're a machine is exactly what hustle culture wants you to believe. So today, I want you to pick one of those four things, just one. Maybe you log off on time. Maybe it's protecting your lunch. Maybe it's saying no to a request that doesn't actually serve you. Because every single tiny choice is a crack in the armor of hustle culture. And again, I'm going to say it one more time. This is not the clinical burnout diagnosis, okay? If you are struggling with symptoms that impact your mental and physical health, you need to seek professional support. What I'm giving you today are practical brain-based tools that you can start to use right now to stay out of the burnout cycle. Because your business, your career, your family, your friends, none of it benefits from you running on fumes, but all of it benefits from you being well, present, and sustainable. You don't have to keep muscling through all of this alone. If you're ready to actually do something about burnout before it costs you more, DM me, email me, whatever it is. Let's figure out what your next move is together. All right, my friend, that's it for today's episode. Remember, you don't earn extra points running yourself into the ground. You earn them by building a life and a business you can actually sustain. If this resonated with you, please share it with another high performer who needs the reminder. And if you haven't already, hit follow so you don't miss the next episode. Until next time, protect your energy, protect your peace, and remember, success without sustainability is not really success at all.